Welcome back to Thrifty Whiskey. I'm Josh.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Eric.
And Joyce is going to tell you what's in the glass.
Today you are drinking Mellow Corn. Mellow Corn is a Kentucky straight corn whiskey from Heaven Hill. Unlike many other grain whiskeys in the U.S., corn whiskey must be distilled from a mash of at least 80% corn, and if aged, it must be aged in used barrels. Mellow Corn is aged in used bourbon barrels for 4 years and bottled at 100 proof to meet the bottled and bond requirements that is displayed on the bottle. We paid $12 for this whiskey, with it usually costing around $15. As always, your prices may vary. Enjoy.
Thanks, Joyce. Let's go ahead and try to figure out what you poured us.
Woody.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Like oak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is not what I was expecting looking at the color.
I know, right? Look at the color. I was not expecting. Maybe that's why it stands out so much.
So I was expecting monas. I was expecting malt.
Grainy. Not like a texture, but like a lot of cereal grain aromas.
Yeah, which means grain whiskey, which means not malty, not malted barley. Honestly, it smells like a bourbon.
It smells sweet.
It smells like
bourbony.
It does not smell bourbony to me. Bourbon tends to have like one little piece that this doesn't have.
I was gonna go like maybe because of the color, like a super young bourbon. I don't know. It's got the oak. It's got a little bit of that cherry note.
Yeah. Cherry vanilla.
A little bit of baking spice. It's got.
I don't get the baking spice.
For me,
I get spice, but it's not baking spice.
Okay.
It's like a
maybe like a peppery spice.
maybe.
I don't know. I think this is one of those ones where like I'm just gonna have to go in for a taste to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Ooh. Not nearly as sweet as I was expecting.
A lot of pepper.
A lot of
Yes.
pepper.
White, black, cayenne.
What is this?
Ooh.
I like it. It's light, it's delicate.
I like that a lot.
Delicate, man. I got punched in the tongue.
Yeah, I would not call what that did to my palate.
The finish
delicate.
goes.
The
finish fades to a delicate.
The finish I could see fading to a delicate, but it punches pretty
That punched me right
hard
in the
up
tongue.
front.
I bet this would stand out in a cocktail really well.
Not gonna lie, that was my first thought when it hit my tongue. I was like, "Ooh, this would make for a good combination with certain mixers."
Okay, I'm going back to the nose now. It's definitely lightened up for me a little bit.
I'm getting like honey lemon halls almost. Eucalyptus, not menthol, but eucalyptus, honey, lemon.
There's definitely a citrusy.
Yeah,
Tinge.
it almost reminds me of like a lemon honey cough drop.
It's a smooth finish.
Sugar. Like caramelized or burnt sugar. But the good part of the burnt sugar, not the bad part of the burnt sugar. Not the burnt part.
I don't so much get that on the palate. Do you get that on the nose?
Yeah, the nose. The nose.
Oh, okay.
I think I might know what this is now. Only because I know what's in all the bags.
You are working from a multiple choice test.
Yeah.
We are working from an open-ended test.
That first drink was like a big punch in the face. Going to the back to the next couple sips, definitely able to explore it more. It's kind of mellowed out a little bit.
Once you know what you're looking like, to expect, it's not as punchy.
It's sweet, spicy, oaky, enjoyable. But it definitely, I feel like it's definitely very bold. It's not like an easy sipping whiskey. I bet rocks would stand up. I'm gonna add a little water.
Ooh, I like that so much more with water.
I don't know if I like it more, but definitely.
It's much more friendly with water, I should say.
It's much more friendly. But it's still
You're
good.
right. I don't know that I like it more. It's much more friendly and inviting.
Nose has more floral notes now.
Yeah.
It's a little sweeter. More maybe grassy notes. And the palate brings out the sweetness. The spice is still there. And basically, like the spice, here's what the spice and sweetness were before. Now it's like a little bit closer together.
Yeah.
You okay?
Splashed my eye.
Uh-oh.
And the finish just is almost non-existent with the water.
I feel like it was about the same. I'm ready for ratings and guesses.
I'm going to give it a 3.5 on the nose. I liked everything I picked up on the nose. It was more inviting with the water. It like smoothed out that slight spice, and it was more sweetness, florally forward. I liked that it immediately hit me with that wood note.
It's
very tantalizing.
It was very surprising. It was just like, boom, oak. Like, whoa. And just, again, I think most of us took us by surprise because it's so light and we weren't expecting that much oak off of that.
Yeah, I picked up the oak, very solid. I liked the cereal notes that I was getting on that, and I really, really liked the mild lemon, mild honey, mild eucalyptus aromas I was receiving. I'm going to give this nose a 3. I found it very mild. I would have liked something a little bit more punchy, and we'll get into the reasons why I want something more punchy on the nose on this one.
I'm giving it 3.5. For me, it's just like the notes were very, very bold with the the oak and the spices and all that. But I don't know. That's just what everything has, especially if it's assuming it is what I think it is, or assuming it's American whiskey. Like those are just notes that you get in like almost all American whiskey, or even some other whiskeys from other countries, like oak, spice, cereal. Like that's all normal stuff. So I would like to see more like fruit notes personally, or just something else that's other than those notes. All that is true for everything for me. So moving on to the palate then.
On the palate, I give this one a 4. I loved this one on the palate. Once you got past that first punch, I liked it was spicy. One of the things I'm primarily drawn to in whiskey are good mixers. This is a good mixer. I would not want to sip this straight. Adding the water made it much friendlier. All around, I think that it was good. I like the spice. I like that slight citrusy, syrupy citrus.
Okay, like you said, that punch that you got right off the bat. It was hard. It was peppery, and as delicate and mild as the nose was, that was like getting a sucker punch right in the kidneys. And that knocks it down for me. I did not find the nose and the palate to be complementary of each other.
Yeah.
So I'm going with a 2.5. Simply because of that lack of complement with each other with the nose and the palate. It was a good palate, don't get me wrong, but if it was more complementary, I would have given it a higher score.
I gave it a 4. I thought it was good. I might be giving it a little higher than maybe what it deserves, to be honest. Again, I thought it was kind of boring, but not boring. Same as everything else. But it did it in an incredibly flavorful fashion, just like very robust.
I see what you mean.
The spices, all that, but man, were those spices there, and the oak and all that. So I made it 4, and I think because it just stands out so well there. And I do appreciate things that are standing out. I don't agree with you on the nose part. I didn't think the nose is that delicate, but that's why we have each other. So we have different views on things. And then finish.
The finish, I gave it a 3.5. I thought the finish actually complemented the palate very well. Because it had that initial punch, but it didn't like just immediately go to smoothness, but it finishes smooth. So it like just mellows out over time. It has a good medium long finish. I enjoyed the finish on this.
The finish for me was the strong point on this. I too gave it a 3.5. The smoothness that you said comes out, and that I did find to complement the nose, and that just little pothole in the palate hurt it. But you know, my average is still a 3 on this one. Not a bad whiskey. I found the finish to be light and delicate and smooth, something that I was wanting with the nose and something that I wish I got with the palate.
I gave it a 3. Pretty sure I did. Oh, you know what? I was reading the wrong side.
Well, that's why you write notes in there, too.
Yeah. Well, I didn't write notes, but I just didn't read the wrong one. So actually, I gave the palate 3.5. That makes more sense. 3.5 is for the palate. So we're working on that previous one. And then for finish, I gave it a 2. All right, so guess this. A 2. I didn't think there was much of a finish.
See, I thought this one was far better than the one prior.
I This whiskey
apparently did not.
Overall, you think this whiskey's better than previous whiskey?
Far better.
Oh, I thought the previous whiskey was way better.
Okay.
But this is the point. Like, we get different opinions here.
Yeah.
All right, so guesses.
I was guessing an 80 proof Irish worth about 22, and I would pay 20. However, now I'm second guessing that Irish because you
Well, that's what you said, so.
you said things. But I'm going to stick with it.
I'm going with Irish at 85. I think 14 is retail. I would buy it for 12.
For me personally, I think there was just too much oak there to be Irish or Scottish. I think this might be a corn whiskey, and I think it might be 100 proof. I think it costs $12 because of what I think it is. Yeah, I don't remember what that price is. But I'd pay $18 for this bottle.
I think I know what
I think
you think it is.
You know, you know exactly what I think it is. Let's go to reveal because I don't know what this is.
Yep.
All right, today we drank Mellow Corn. Mellow Corn, this is for those of you who are in the know, kind of controversial in the whiskey community. This is a very cheap bottle. I'll go through the notes real quick so we can be on the same page. This is Mellow Corn, a Kentucky straight corn whiskey, not a bourbon. It is a 100 proof because it's bottled and bond. It's at least 4 years old, again, because it's bottled and bond. 90% corn, 10% rye and barley. We don't know the exact mash bill. Maybe someone else does. If you do know, leave a comment down below. And cask type. This is used oak, not new oak. That's what makes the difference between a corn whiskey, or part of the things that make a difference between a corn whiskey and a bourbon. Corn whiskey has to be at least, I think, 81% corn. And they either have to be unaged or using used oak. Producer is Heaven Hill. You bought this bottle. I don't remember what you paid for it, but general price is about $15 a bottle.
I think I actually paid 12 for this in Kentucky.
Ratings, real quick. Distiller gave this a 75 and Whiskey Advocate a 78. Nose, sweet corn, vanilla, honey, palate, sweet corn, oak, vanilla spice, and finish, sweet corn, medium long, vanilla.
I'm shocked at all the corn notes that they're getting out of this corn whiskey.
Super surprised.
I didn't really get corn, but okay.
I didn't either because I just got so much oak. But there's a lot of sweetness there.
Yes.
Which corn is very sweet. So.
Yeah, I guess.
I can't remember any cocktails that use mellow corn.
Actually, if you follow Mellow Corn on Instagram, they put a cocktail up almost every other day.
I know people are looking forward to seeing this bottle for a long time and to review. I was looking forward to tasting it for a really long time. Joyce hates this label, this very yellow label that reminds you of
It is hideous.
Joyce saw this bottle and she's like, "Oh, that looks so gross." And then one day I snuck her a tasting of it. Mm-hmm. Because I'll pour something for myself and then give her some all the time. And she doesn't know what it is. She's like, "Oh, what is this?" I'm like, "It's the Mellow Corn," because she loved it, and she hates herself for loving it.
I hate to say it, but the label almost looks like it was designed by a child.
It reminds me of the Mellow Yellow.
It is not a good looking label.
Yeah,
but it's alright for a whiskey.
But at this point now, though, it's iconic.
Yeah.
Right. It's become an icon in the whiskey community. Like, oh, Mellow Corn. Like, if they change the label,
Yeah, it definitely stands out. If you see that label, you know what you're getting.
All right, well, that's what we think of this. Till next time, may the winds of fortune sail you.
May you sail a gentle sea.
May it always be the other guy who says, "This drink's on me."